Picture an animal built less like a living creature and more like a walking fortress. A body covered edge to edge in bone. A skull so thick it could shrug off a bite from the most powerful predator that ever lived. And at the end of its tail, not a whip, not a spike, but a solid club of bone, heavy enough to shatter another dinosaur's leg in a single swing. This is Ankylosaurus, not just armored, not just tough, built from nose to tail tip to survive in a world ruled by Tyrannosaurus rex. Today, we're uncovering the complete story of this legendary tank of the Cretaceous, the real fossils, the scientist who first pulled it from the ground, how we know exactly how old these bones are, and the debate still raging over the true purpose of that infamous tail club. This is the complete story of Ankylosaurus. The name Ankylosaurus comes from the Greek ankylos, meaning fused or stiff, and sauros, meaning lizard, roughly fused lizard, a nod to the way its bony armor plates were locked together across its back like natural chainmail. Ankylosaurus lived right at the very end of the Cretaceous period, around 68 to 66 million years ago, meaning it was, quite literally, one of the last dinosaurs on Earth before the asteroid impact that ended the age of dinosaurs altogether. It was a herbivore, low to the ground, broad-bodied, and enormous. Estimates put a full-grown adult in around 6 to 8 meters long, roughly 20 to 26 feet, and weighing somewhere between 4 and 8 tons, depending on the study. That's comparable to a large African elephant, but built like a bunker on 4 short, powerful legs. Ankylosaurus's defining feature is its armor. Its entire back, sides, and even its eyelids were covered in bony plates called osteoderms, ranging from small pebble-like nodules to large triangular spikes running along its flanks. Some of these plates were even reinforced internally with a honeycombed-like bone structure, making them remarkably resistant to being crushed or punctured. Even its skull was armored, fused so completely with overlying bone that the individual skull sutures, normally visible in most dinosaurs, are almost impossible to see in an adult Ankylosaurus. This made its head essentially bite-proof against anything short of the strongest predators. But the true masterpiece of Ankylosaurus's anatomy sits at the very end of its tail. The last several tail vertebrae were fused into a rigid handle ending in a massive knob of solid bone, the tail club. Some estimates suggest a full swing of this club could generate enough force to break bone, making it one of the most effective defensive weapons in the entire animal kingdom, living or extinct. And Ankylosaurus lived in a world far from peaceful. It shared its habitat with Tyrannosaurus rex, meaning every piece of armor, every spike, and that devastating tail club likely evolved under constant evolutionary pressure from one of history's most fearsome predators. So, how do scientists actually pin down a number like 66 million years? It comes down to 2 complementary techniques: stratigraphy and radiometric dating. Stratigraphy is simply the study of rock layers. Sediment is deposited over time in a predictable sequential order. So, generally speaking, the deeper a fossil sits within undisturbed rock, the older it is relative to the layers around it. To turn that relative order into an actual age, scientists use radiometric dating. This usually means measuring the decay of radioactive isotopes, commonly potassium-40 decaying into argon-40, within volcanic ash layers that are sometimes preserved between the sedimentary layers containing the bones. Because that decay happens at a fixed known rate, scientists can calculate with remarkable precision how long ago that ash layer settled, and therefore how old the fossils above or below it are. This same method is how researchers identified the KPG boundary, a thin, globally distributed layer of clay, unusually rich in iridium, an element common in asteroids but rare on Earth's surface. That layer marks the exact geological moment of the extinction-triggering asteroid impact. Ankylosaurus fossils are consistently found in the rock layers directly beneath it, confirming it as one of the very last non-avian dinosaurs to walk the planet. The story of Ankylosaurus begins in 1906 in the Badlands of Montana, in rock layers belonging to what we now call the Hell Creek Formation. There, a fossil hunting expedition led by paleontologist Barnum Brown, working for the American Museum of Natural History, uncovered a partial skeleton unlike anything scientists had documented before. A skull roof, some armor plating, ribs, and pieces of the limbs, all belonging to an animal covered head to tail in bone. Brown recognized immediately that this wasn't like any other dinosaur on record. In 1908, he formally described and named the genus, calling it Ankylosaurus magniventris, magniventris meaning great belly, a reference to the animal's broad barrel-like body. For decades afterward, Ankylosaurus remained frustratingly rare in the fossil record. Only a small handful of specimens, mostly partial skulls, armor fragments, and isolated tail clubs, were ever found, making it, ironically, one of the least completely known large dinosaurs, despite being one of the most recognizable. More than a century after Brown's discovery, paleontologists are still searching the same badlands, the Hell Creek Formation of Montana, along with related rock formations in Wyoming and Alberta, hoping to find more complete Ankylosaurus remains. Because its armor plates are individually small and easily scattered after death, excavation is often slow and painstaking. Paleontologists carefully brush away the surrounding sediment, called matrix, piece by piece, trying to keep the fragile bony plates in their original positions relative to one another, because losing that arrangement can mean losing crucial information about how the armor was actually patterned across the living animal. Every new specimen, no matter how fragmentary, adds another piece to a puzzle that's still far from complete. Unlike some of its more common dinosaur cousins, a genuinely complete Ankylosaurus skeleton has never been found. Every reconstruction seen in museums today is a composite, built by combining bones from multiple individuals, informed by closely related armored dinosaurs to fill in the gaps. In 2017, paleontologist Victoria Arbour led one of the most comprehensive scientific reviews of every known Ankylosaurus specimen, re-examining decades' worth of fossils scattered across museum collections. Her work helped clarify which bones actually belonged to Ankylosaurus, corrected long-standing errors in earlier reconstructions, and gave scientists a far more accurate picture of what this animal truly looked like. That rarity is exactly why every new discovery matters so much. A single well-preserved skull, a single intact tail club can quietly rewrite what an entire generation of paleontologists thought they knew. Once bones are excavated, the real work is only beginning. Preparators spend months, sometimes years, carefully removing every last trace of rock from the fossilized bone, stabilizing cracks, and reconstructing missing sections using casts of comparable bones from related specimens. Because Ankylosaurus armor is scattered so easily after death, reconstructing the correct pattern across the back and tail requires careful study of related, better preserved ankylosaurid species, close relatives that share the same basic body plan, to make an educated, scientifically grounded estimate of how the plates were arranged in life. When a full reconstruction, whether skeletal or a fleshed-out model, finally goes on display, it transforms from a puzzle of bones into something you can actually picture moving through a Cretaceous forest. Modern reconstructions increasingly try to depict Ankylosaurus not as a static museum piece, but as a living animal navigating a dangerous, ever-changing world, one shaped as much by wildfires and shifting climates as by the predators sharing its territory. Some of the most striking modern illustrations place Ankylosaurus face to face with the very predator it likely evolved its armor to withstand, a visual reminder that every spike and plate on its body may have been shaped by an ongoing evolutionary standoff with Tyrannosaurus rex. Ankylosaurus is one of the most recognizable dinosaurs in film, television, and video games, but the versions audiences see on screen often take real creative liberties, exaggerating spikes, altering body proportions, or blending features from several different armored dinosaur species into one design. It's a reminder worth keeping in mind. The sleek, heavily spiked Ankylosaurus many people picture from movies and games is often a stylized interpretation built for visual drama rather than a strict reconstruction based on the actual fossil evidence scientists have recovered. Even with everything we know, one debate continues to divide paleontologists. What was the tail club actually used for? The traditional view is straightforward. It was a defensive weapon, swung at the legs of attacking predators like Tyrannosaurus rex, capable of delivering a blow forceful enough to fracture bone and drive off an attacker. But in recent years, some researchers have proposed an additional competing theory that the tail club may have also played a role in combat between members of their own species, used to establish dominance, compete for territory, or contest mates, much like how many modern animals use specialized weaponry against rivals of their own kind, not just predators. Biomechanical studies analyzing the internal bone structure of the tail's supporting vertebrae have lent support to the idea that these tails could handle powerful, repeated impacts. But whether those impacts were aimed primarily at predators, at rivals, or at both remains an open question that new fossil discoveries continue to inform. Ankylosaurus never needed speed, sharp claws, or fearsome teeth to earn its place in prehistoric history. It earned it through sheer, uncompromising defense, a body built like a fortress, and a tail capable of ending a fight in a single swing. From a partial skeleton pulled out of the Montana Badlands in 1906 to modern reconstructions still being refined more than a century later, to an ongoing scientific debate about the true purpose of its most iconic weapon, the story of Ankylosaurus is a reminder that even the most armored, most finished-looking dinosaurs still hold unanswered questions. If you enjoyed digging into the real science, the real discoveries, and the real debates behind Ankylosaurus, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because we uncover a new fossil story like this every single week. Drop a comment below. Do you think that tail club evolved purely for defense against predators like T-Rex, Or do you think Ankylosaurus used it against rivals of its own kind, too? Let's debate it down there. And if you want more deep dives like this one into iconic dinosaurs, rare fossil discoveries, and the scientists still piecing together prehistoric life, bone by bone, hit that like button, and I'll see you in the next one.